Hey guys, Ponce here on the PvE, here to show you guys a preview of the new Warwick Rework. So we're going to show off what the abilities do, kind of explain what they do, and show some of the stranger cases of using them. Aside from that, also give ability or animation previews and all that kind of stuff. So quickly just kind of covering his ability, what the actual abilities do. There's a riot preview up that explains all the stuff, so I'm not going to go into super detail. I'm just going to kind of go into more niche cases about it. But his passive, basically you deal magic damage, you heal for the magic damage. The lower you get, the more you heal for. So a little bit kind of Aatrox like, a little bit, right, in a passive. His Q is a dash, which you can either go in front of the person and then just deal damage. Incidentally, note that it deals a percent of your target's maximum health, and then also applies on hit, and then you end up healing a certain percentage of that damage back based on the level of the skill, so it's quite good. But you can dash in front of the person, a short range, or you can dash all the way behind them, depending on how long you press you hold the key down. Next we have Blood Hunt. This is a bit of a weird ability now. They've changed some things with it. It's got a passive version which works globally. So Warwick gains a certain amount of attack speed and on champions who go below 50% health, and moves faster towards them when he's out of combat. Note, these bonuses are tripled against enemies below 20% health. So he can move really fast and attack really fast against these targets. He also has an active version of this ability, which does have a range. So note on the minimap, there's like kind of a ring around me. That's the range on it there. Warwick briefly senses all enemies when in that range. The nearest sensed champion is blood hunted for 8 seconds. So it applies that debuff thing to them regardless of their health. Cast only while not in combat with a champion. So you can't just use it mid-combat and just get a whole bunch of stat buffs. While no enemies are being hunted, Blood Hunt cools down twice as fast. So basically every 1 second tick, you're actually getting 2 seconds back on the cooldown. So it's quite good in that regard. Next, we have Primal Howl. Warwick gains 50% damage reduction. So that scales based on level. I think at level 1 it's like 35% or something. Anyway, damage reduction for 2.5 seconds. At the end of the duration, it is, or if it's activated again, Warwick howls, causing all enemies to flee. So a fear effect for 1 second. Basically, it's kind of like Scion Shield in the sense that there's a bit of a delay, but it can be reactivated immediately, or you can just kind of let it go. Either works in terms of whether you want to get a fear. Next, we have Infinite Duress. That's basically his ult. The long and short of this is it's the same as it was before, except it's not targeted. It's now a skill shot, except your range on it is based on your movement speed and how fast you're moving at the time. So we're going to use some of our abilities here. Let me just leap to this thing. So as you see, I leapt through it. Let's just put the shield up, I guess. They're all going to get feared like that. Here's the regular dash without going through the target. So I'm actually going to use Blood Hunt right now. Notice nothing's going to happen here because no one is in range, so it just kind of gets flubbed. And the cooldown is coming back really quickly here. So there's not too much of an issue if I just use it like that. I'm going to quickly clear this wave up, and we're going to use our targeting dummy of Hollow in the mid lane here.
I killed him first.
So this person is in range, so I'm going to use this now. That's my ult there, like that. I'm going to dash through. This is my fear. Reactivate like so. There we go. So there you have it. That's the kit. Seems like some pretty interesting stuff here. I was personally curious about its potential as a top laner. I don't know, the mana, like, you could sustain really well with the Q. It just kind of seems like you'd run out of mana really easily. If you could deal with that somehow, maybe. I'm going to test this. Incidentally, I am streaming this currently. If you happen to catch this video right as I've uploaded it, so you can check me out on twitch.tv/Ponce. As always, in the description below, that'll be contained down there. But yeah, I'm going to be testing out both the top lane and the jungle mainly. It definitely seems like the kind of character that really works well with other people. Less so in terms of trading really well in a lane-centric sort of dueling sort of context. But yeah, anyone gets anyone even remotely low, it just kind of seems very difficult to get away from him. Especially with any kind of CDR. It just seems like he'd have, at least within combat, nigh infinite sustain. Like, heals 70% of damage dealt, and 10% of your target's maximum health is magic damage. Like, that's pretty crazy stuff.
Run faster!
So anyway, that's the in-game sort of like actual combat applications of everything. I'm going to show off his animations and stuff now. So we're going to go through the basic animations, recall, death animation, the usual. So let's just take care of that real quick right here. So here's the taunt.
I ran these streets. Now it's your turn to run. Who's a good boy? I am.
And finally the dance. So the dance is actually very similar to the old one. It's just a lot fancier, obviously.
Son will watch you bleed, and it will do nothing.
Okay, so we need to get ourselves killed somehow. Let's, actually, I can teleport to that. So let's just do the recall animation first, and I'll kill myself on Baron or something.
If I don't kill you, Son will.
Although if you're listening and you can get there... Oh, I don't have a teleport. Oops, no, whatever. Yeah, show up in Baron. We'll speed it up. I'll meet you at Baron. You're allowed to. So note, I can't dash over walls or anything with Q. If anyone was wondering, you actually have to manually target something. So if there's nothing to target, you can't dash to things. So for example, I can't dash to a plant or something. Oh no, this Hollow player is far too good. I've been outskilled. Anyway, that's really everything. There's nothing really much else to talk about with the character. Again, like, it's a lot of testing I gotta do in game. I'm not 100% certain on what kind of build I want and that sort of thing. This is just the first practice game I've done here. So again, tune into twitch.tv/Ponce. Right after this video's uploaded, I'll be streaming this. Aside from that, I'll probably be streaming this a lot this week just to kind of get a good feel for what's going on here. But yeah, that's it from me. Thanks for watching once again, everyone, and see you guys around. Goodbye.